fourth downs. They really control the game in so many ways, and so we didn't get enough shots at it. We didn't get enough opportunities. We got to play obviously a lot better. A lot of this comes down to the details and the fundamentals of the football game. And so sometimes it's a simple game, and we got to play better and give ourselves more opportunities. And so when you look at it, we had 40 snaps on offense. Probably an all-time low, and then they had 77, so they obviously controlled the ball for much of this game.
How much did you find that the third quarter was kind of a big cause for the results of this game?
Yeah, they controlled the whole third quarter. Essentially had it, and we had one quick possession turnover, and they got it back. And so obviously they controlled. We got a little bit of momentum going into halftime with that touchdown. Felt like there was, we're right back in it. We have a chance, and then for them to kind of control the entire quarter of it, go ultimately score, put themselves in an extended lead now, and we weren't able to capitalize.
I think it was 4 of the first 5 drives were 3 and out. Fast starts have been a big issue for you all so far this season. Why has that continued to be something you struggle with?
Yeah, obviously if we have a solution, we haven't found it yet. We got to play better, and I got to give us the best opportunity possible to be successful. We got to just play clean football. We just got to play clean football, execute plays, and put ourselves in position.
You only had 40 snaps, 40 offensive snaps. How would you just assess how Tyler did in those 40 snaps?
I thought there were some positives that came out of the game from Tyler's perspective. I thought he threw it well, delivered. I thought that 2-minute drive was big-time football before the half. Even at the end, I thought he made a couple really good plays to quickly get us down in the red zone, and weren't able to run the football and get a first down there.
I know it kind of follows up to that third quarter, but you felt like because the Rams held the ball so long in that third quarter, that momentum that you had offensively kind of deteriorated at that point.
Yeah, I mean, real time it had been 40 minutes by the time we got back. So, obviously we got to do a better job there. And then when we do have our opportunity, we can't fumble the football. So we fumbled it and turned it right back over to them. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, Jack and Tolly, they had an ankle, and so we'll just see how that goes.
Was the decision for Alvin Fair to see the field a little bit less after the fumble intentional?
We're just trying to get things going, and so Alvin's a big part of this thing, and so it was unfortunate we had turnover there. They won the battle 2-0 today.
Obviously, a lot of things go into this, but who went into the decision to kick or keep the ball after the toss?
Just receiving.
Just want to start.
Yeah. We got to find a way to start fast, and obviously we're not there. We got to find a way to start fast. Feel some early success in the game. They have a really high success rate when they lead at halftime, and so you got to do everything you can to put yourself in position to be successful early in the game.
What were you seeing on that challenge, whether Stafford is down or not?
Yeah, just trying to give ourselves an opportunity there. Felt like I obviously didn't see it until after I'd thrown the flag because we're the road team, and so we felt like there was some compelling. It was quick, and so we made a decision to see if we can steal a possession there, which would have been a huge opportunity, early in the third.
Do you have someone you consult with on those challenges, or
yeah.
is it mostly just?
No, it's upstairs. Yeah, upstairs. They're obviously looking at it, and we understand there's risk associated with those things too.
What was the explanation on that? I think it was play 4 and the ball came out. Cam came up with it, but did they roll him down like that?
Yeah, they said he was down.
What are some things you hope to build on in terms of how Tyler played today moving forward?
Yeah, I thought, I think operationally, I felt like he was very, very calm. He executed at a pretty high level. I thought he handled some adverse situations really well, which is obviously a positive going into these situations. He didn't let those other factors impact his play. I thought, even his turnovers, at least, it was a fourth down. He's trying to give us a shot. Outside of that, I felt like, he was executing the plays. And, I thought there was a great sequence there when he made, a few plays really quickly in the fourth quarter, completion. We got right down the field, and, we just weren't able to run the football there.
Kellen, from your perspective, why was it so difficult today to get Matthew Stafford out with him? Because he was able to kind of put together drives and move that offense.
Yeah. They had a really good balanced offense. I thought they were able to, run the football, and pass the football and play in those mixed downs. And so when you look at it, they had a lot of control of the game because of that. They were able to, run the football, create the play action opportunities, play in positive third down situations, and weren't able to get the rush and the obvious passing ones.
Was that sequence? I think it was 3 straight plays. You had Taysom lining up at quarterback with Tyler off the field. Was that by design, or was it kind of after that big run to start?
Had a package available, anticipated staying with Taysom for a few plays, and we had that available. It's I felt like Taysom gave us a little bit of something there in the run game, which was a positive, and gave us some positive things out of that.
What was the challenge today on the defensive side when it came to the sort of those play action rollouts to the tight end underneath? That seemed like something that came up a few times.
Yep, eyes, details and fundamentals. They do a great job of running the football and then marrying the action game off it. And, we got to stick with our assignments and, eyes within that. You obviously have a run fit, but, you got a coverage responsibility as well. And so it's a stressor. It's challenging. There's nothing easy about it, but they had a lot of success because of it.
The mood after, a loss like this in that long.
Yeah, it's always tough. These guys put everything they can into each and every week in an NFL football game, and there's a lot that goes into it, a lot that emotionally, physically that they pour into this, and it's challenging. We're going through a challenging storm, and we face some adversity, and we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing together. I think that's the thing. I love these guys keep battling. This is going to be one of those. You get through this storm, you're going to tell one heck of a story, and but we got to get there, and so we're not there yet. We got to keep getting better. Got to keep finding ways to narrow the margins and give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful.
Is it a difficult game to evaluate Tyler just because of the low number of snaps?
I mean, it's going to be a great opportunity. It's first start in the NFL. Certainly there were some positives in there. Thought he handled himself well, and so we didn't get enough opportunities to compete.
You guys can come in, the Rams did a formidable pass rush. How do you think Tyler handled that? Specifically, some of the movement he showed, being able to get out of the pocket.
Thought some of his off-schedule stuff was a positive. I thought he handled himself well, stepped up in the pocket. I think that's always the biggest challenge for young quarterbacks, to step up, not step out and go behind the rush, because that's where these guys are going to chase you down quickly. Thought he had some really good step-ups and kept his eyes downfield. And so certainly that's a really tough pass rush, but I thought he did some good things. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who dat? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And before we get started, I want to let you all know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by MyBookie. You can place your bets on the MyBookie app. Go to MyBookie and place your bets. There's an option, a buy-in option up to $500. If you were to place your bet today that the New Orleans Saints would have covered the 14.5 points, then you, sir, you, ma'am, would have needed the buy-in option because they did not. All right. So at the end of the day, you can still use MyBookie in order to place your bets. All you have to do is use the promo code SAINTS to take part in that buy-in option. Use that promo code SAINTS. Final score: the New Orleans Saints fall to the Los Angeles Rams by a score of 34-10. And also, there's a new sponsor on this show. It is brought to you by Clorox Sentiva. That's what it's brought to you by. And the reason why it's brought to you by that, ladies and gentlemen, is because that's what I was actually using to clean my house as I was watching the New Orleans Saints game, right? I mean, it is also sponsored by Mr. Clean Lavender Scent, because that's what I was using also to mop my floor, because that's what I was doing as I was watching the New Orleans Saints try to do something I like to call, well, I guess play football. At least they thought that's what it was. This was embarrassing. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody anything they don't already know. This was an embarrassing performance. You look at the time of possession, over 40 minutes for the Rams, 16 minutes for the Saints. The New Orleans Saints, they were just out there, man. They were just out there. Like we used to do something when I was in college. My minor was theater, and I used to, before we get on stage and we'll perform, people ask, man, how you did, how I did, how I do, and we used to say, man, bruh, you was up there, boy, man, you was up there, right? That's what the Saints was. The Saints were just up there. They were up there. Like, okay, let's go ahead and get through this game. Let's go ahead and try to fight. Let's just try to show some grit and some passion or something like that, which I didn't really see. I mean, the defense just got absolutely destroyed. Matthew Stafford did whatever he wanted to do. Got it. I mean, the entire secondary got exposed. Alontae Taylor, tough day at the office for him. I mean, he had one good tackle on Kyron Williams. Other than that, I mean, he was out there getting smoked like brisket, burned like a biscuit. And, Kool-Aid McKinstry, despite the fact that I felt like he was trying to battle, I mean, it was just a tough day going up against Puka Nacua. The entire secondary just looked pretty bad. You had a couple guys on the defensive line trying to make plays, Chase Young, Jonah Williams. They had a sack, but at the end of the day, the Saints could not match up and measure up to the Rams. And I'm not going to be long tonight, folks. I got some more cleaning I got to do. I'm going to go ahead and try to get back to it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of these questions and also give perspective about the game. Number one, I know a lot of people want to talk about Tyler Shough. How did Tyler Shough do? Well, let's look at his stats. Tyler Shough stat lines read as such: 15 of 24, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, averaged 7.3 yards per play. He was sacked 1 time, had a rating of 81.2. In my opinion, I don't think that Tyler Shough was terrible. I think that he actually played better than I thought that he was going to play. I went into this game with absolutely no expectations of Tyler Shough. As a matter of fact, I kind of just felt that the New Orleans Saints just put Tyler Shough out there to try to keep the fan base engaged because it's been a lost season and people are uninterested in what's going on. So by putting Tyler Shough out there, it has Saints fans glued to their television sets. And I still feel that way. I still feel the New Orleans Saints did this. They brought Tyler Shough into the game for the simple fact that they want to keep Saints fans engaged. So to me, I just went in with zero expectations of Tyler Shough. And I thought that he played pretty well against a very formidable Rams defense. He was able to throw the ball, make some plays. He actually showed some zip on some passes. And, the Saints just don't have much talent on the offensive side of football. Like, you got a bunch of role players out there trying to make plays. And, I'm seeing people with these reviews about Tyler Shough. I'm just gonna be as real as I possibly can with y'all. Y'all just went into the game trying to hate on dude. Like, plain and simple. Like, I've been talking about this for the entire week. I said when Tyler Shough became the starting quarterback of the Saints, that's the guy that I started to believe in because I want to see him succeed. These people out here with this low-hanging fruit ass takes on Tyler Shough, watching this guy have a time of possession of 16 minutes in an offense that's about as vanilla as your local Baskin-Robbins ice cream, and y'all expect for this guy to go out here and move mountains. A lot of you got this quarterback situation misconstrued, and a lot of you don't know how to evaluate the quarterback position. You have people out here that are really evaluating this guy based on the fact that he threw an interception, and you're saying that means that he had a bad game. When people start talking like that, I don't even want to talk the quarterback position with them because, like I said, people went into this game hoping that this guy fails, overthrow wide receivers, underthrow, get sacked about 3 or 4 times so they can feel like right in their conviction of this guy. To me, Tyler Shough played decent. He played decent enough for me to feel like, man, they got something there. If you came away from this game in 16 minutes of time of possession feeling like, oh, all hope is lost because Tyler Shough is the quarterback, then you already had that logic and that mind frame of Tyler Shough before the game even started. Because there is nothing in this game that tells me that Tyler Shough can't be a starting quarterback in the league. I ain't seen enough. I've seen some really good throws. I've seen a really good 2-minute drill. I seen back-to-back splash plays before they brought in Taysom Hill, who to me, was doing the best he could. But what can you do when your offensive coordinator / head coach keep calling the same thing over and over again? Like everybody named Mama knows it's gonna be QB power. It's a vanilla offense with no imagination. So how are you evaluating a quarterback based on that is beyond me. That's just my opinion. I think that Tyler Shough played pretty well going up against a Rams defense that is one of the best in the league, especially when it comes to getting pressure on the quarterback. But let me go ahead and read some of these comments. It says, TJ, the Saints are not trying to win this game. Seems like they had to throw it. Do you think Kellen Moore is a good coach now? I don't know what I think about Kellen Moore. All I know is the team looks soft. And to be quite honest with you, I'm very concerned about Kellen Moore being the leader of this football team. Look, I think that Kellen Moore is a smart guy. I think that Kellen Moore is a good coordinator. I don't think that, what the Saints look like is indicative, like solely, is indicative on him as a head coach or a coordinator. I just don't think they have the talent. But in some cases, I am very concerned at the way that he carries himself and how desperate the New Orleans Saints team looks. They look like they're afraid to take a risk, to take a chance. Like it's like everybody's quivering and shaking in their boots on 4th and 1. Like, should we go for it? Should we try to, should we try to punt? Like, it's just stuff like that, man. And to me, like, you're 1-17. I feel like you should be as desperate as you possibly can, but also just be as free. Like, you're not going to win anything. Like, I thought that I would see way more innovation from the Saints offense than I've seen. And it's almost to a point that I'm just wondering to myself, like you, are they trying to win? Or is he like purposely calling this vanilla ass offense because it puts them behind the 8 ball, but it also just kind of keeps it can keep the offense like in sync or keep on moving the ball. I don't know, man, but this offense is boring as I don't know what. And I've seen Kellen Moore as a coordinator. I've seen him open up a playbook or two during his time as a coordinator. So I don't know what the heck is going on, but I'm questioning, can he lead men? I'm serious. I'm questioning, can he get this team over this hump? Because I think right now what the New Orleans Saints need, they need somebody that's going to be able to demand excellence of them. Now, I will give him credit. When Alvin Kamara fumbled the football, I don't think we've seen Alvin Kamara no more. Like, we start to see more Devin Neal. So at least, he was showing like levels of accountability for ball security. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's still some question marks about Kellen Moore. Not so much about, what the offense can be with him, because this offense is just screwed, bro. I'm looking at it from a guy that looked like he's scared to call plays and scared to make aggressive decisions. And for that, I'm starting to feel like you're a punk when it comes to like being a head coach. And I don't want to feel that way. So I got a mixed bag when it comes to Kellen Moore. Like, will he be a better head coach with better talent? Or will this guy just be passive aggressive and having the Saints look as soft as a baby's behind as long as he's the head coach? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like mixed when it comes to Kellen Moore. Now I'm not mad, Jerry, just tired. See this goofy Kellen Moore. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not even upset, man. Like, I'm so it's almost like you already know what the deal was. Like, I just watched the game. Like I said, man, I was cleaning my countertop. Like I was cleaning out my microwave. You know what I'm saying? I was cleaning out my office. Like, man, I was like doing all type of other stuff. And it's not like I wasn't paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I still was like in tune to the game. So I seen what happened. But I mean, I was just on some more stuff, man. I was just trying to get my house clean. It's been a minute since I was able to kind of have some downtime to be able to do some of these things. So, I mean, it was what it was, man. I mean, why get all upset and all up in your feelings about a team that ain't about to do nothing? Like, we knew the Saints weren't going to do nothing today. Well, I mean, what's the point of getting upset? We bad from top to bottom. Plain and simple, man. Hello is laughing. Says, bro, how on everything else I see you on, it's Lonnie. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. I love the tank job. Well, if they are taking, they're doing a really good job of it. Says, I don't know Lonnie is. Let's see. Cook cream ice cream right now. Keep it clean in the chat. We're a straight rotisserie chicken, fam. My name always was Brother Man. Let's see. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you just now noticing it. I don't know what we're talking about, man. Let me stroll down. Let me see if we got some questions, comments here. Let's say the final score was belt to ass. That's all I got to say. Not surprised at all. Also, I wouldn't be shocked if Rico Dowdle rushed for 250 next Sunday. Fight Grit were no shows. Not at all, man. I mean, they didn't show anything. They didn't show anything at all. Just out there running cardio. 3 touchdowns and 200 yards in the first half. I mean, if that defense came out there looking like that, I mean, you already know what the offense was going to do or wasn't going to do. So when that defense was just out there just going through the motions, I was like, okay, game over. Been a Saints fan since 1970. We're worse than the 1980 team. Good and great coach accomplished more by now in their first season. Moore may be a big mistake as coach. I'm just saying, man, I'm seeing a lot of traits that resemble bad coaches. I'm not saying that, he can't turn it around, but right now it's deeper than just X's and O's. Like I'm looking at the body language of this team. I don't feel like, honestly, the scariest thing about this game to me was I don't feel like any player out there felt like they were going to win this football game. I'm serious. Like I didn't get like I didn't see anything from any player that made me feel like any one of those guys really seriously thought that the Saints had a chance. And if you're looking at a team that's looking like that, you have to look at the head coach. You got to look at the head coach. Like the body language and the energy of this team was pretty much non-existent. Like you had a couple plays that they made and they tried to like kind of rile each other up, but man, I didn't see a person out there that I felt like, man, they want to win this game. Not one. So I think that is on the head coach. Scarecrow, thank you very much for the $5. Says, where Mickey Loomis and Miss Gail? Do they not care about the product on the field? I'm so freaking mad right now. The thing about it is, I think that they do care, but I don't think they can actually solve it. I think what you have is a bunch of lame ducks up top that don't really understand, and they too stubborn to try to get some real legitimate help up in this thing. I think that they trying to reinvent the wheel. I think that they still trying to find ways that they can find that same success when it was Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and they can't do it. And, I hate to say it, but the way that it's looking, and this could change, Gail Benson may be one of the worst owners in sports. Like, I'm serious. Like, she may be one of the worst owners, if not the worst owner in sports. I mean, look at the Pelicans and look at the Saints. The Pelicans, upon the making of this video, don't have a win, and the Saints have one win. And yet, I want to say they just did an article talking about she's one of the most powerful women in sports. I don't know about that, bro. Like, I don't know about that. Like, this team is terrible. And, her love and her, admiration for Mickey Loomis is killing this team. Like, I'm serious, man. Like, it is killing this team. Now, I say this on countless occasions. I can't get mad at Gail Benson for, inheriting a team when her late husband, Tom Benson, passed away. I can't, right? I say this all the time also. If it wasn't for that fact, I don't think that Gail Benson would be around football or sports at all. She just isn't that type of person to me. Like, I think before, I would be shocked. I could be wrong. I would be shocked if Gail Benson even went to a football game before she met Tom Benson or like knew anything about football. And then on top of that, when Tom Benson was in the twilight of his life, he was like bringing Gail Benson to the owners' meetings and kind of coaching her up a little bit. But look, nothing can really prepare you for owning a franchise. It's rather like you are going to be fully committed to it, or it's just going to fail. And right now, it just looks like awful. And I just think that she's relying way too much on a guy that doesn't have the answers in Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis doesn't have the answers, plain and simple. And it's sad because nobody's going to do anything about it. Nobody's going to do anything about it because Mickey Loomis is too stubborn to really accept defeat and realize that, man, I'm over my head here. Maybe we just need some young blood up in here, and I just need to go upstairs and kind of just control the controllables, what's going on up here, and get somebody in here in a GM role and get some other guys that are around him to be able to build this team the way that it needs to be built in order for them to be formidable and competitive. Like right now, it just seems like Gail Benson don't know what the hell she's doing, and she's relying on a guy that's supposed to know what he's doing in Mickey Loomis. And her relationship and love for Mickey Loomis is basically clouding her judgment from really doing the actual thing that you need to do in order to press forward, which is telling him to step down or firing him from his position, which she won't do. Like I'm looking at Mickey Loomis making a statement at the end of one of these seasons, basically saying he's going to step down and be a part of the succession plan of hiring the next general manager. And with that, I just feel like it's going to be the same old song and dance because Mickey Loomis is going to hire somebody with the same type of mind frame he got, and the Saints are going to be pretty much in the same situation. Like, I don't know how you can get out of this. I don't. Like, everybody looking for, like, next year, but we look at the New Orleans Saints, and we know that we look at these players, they don't give you the production that you see from these other teams in the National Football League, what they may have at certain skill positions, and Mickey Loomis will still pay a guy like he done did something. Like Chris Olave today, in a situation where you got a young quarterback coming in who is getting he got his first start, and this is a moment for your number one receiver to step up. He had 3 catches for 57 yards. That's what Chris Olave had today. And you know what? Nobody's thinking about trading Chris Olave. Nobody is thinking about anything. They up here talking about a contract extension. For what? What has Chris Olave done to garner a contract extension for us to even be having this conversation? He's not a number one guy. So if you're talking about a contract extension, it better be for like number 2 wide receiver, number 3 wide receiver money, because he hasn't done anything. But the New Orleans Saints will keep him around. Why? Because he's overcome adversity with concussions, right? I mean, I'm just keeping it 100. This is the type of mind frame that this organization has. And this is the reason why we're going to continue to be miserable as a fan base. It's the reason why people are going to continue to go down this downward spiral with this team, because nothing is going to change. Because in their mind, they don't feel like they have to change anything. There's no accountability up top. There's no way on God's green earth that Mickey Loomis would have made some of these horrible, egregious decisions over the last 4 to 5 years and still have a job anywhere else other than New Orleans. But look at the state of the Pelicans. Look at the state of the Saints. I don't think that it's a coincidence that both teams are sinking right now, because you have ownership that is too afraid to make the tough decisions, to be able to hold guys accountable. And you have an owner that's just basically just going through the motions. And in my opinion, just hoping nobody actually asks her anything that's football related. So Saints fans, I think we pretty much doomed, man. I think we're doomed. TJ, do you think the Saints will beat the Panthers next Sunday? No, I do not. Ed, thank you very much for the 999. Says, been a Saints fan since 1987, and I laugh at these fans who were spoiled by Breeze going crazy. This has been the Saints franchise forever, besides a winning season 20 years before a winning season. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Saints fans don't really understand or have seen the team look as bad as it has. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody from a record perspective, this is the worst they've been. The Saints, this is the worst start in franchise history, if I'm not mistaken. 1-8. This has been the worst start for the New Orleans Saints in franchise history. So what does that tell you? It tells you, number one, the New Orleans Saints got the worst general manager in football. And I don't care what anybody says. If you're protecting Mickey Loomis at this point, like you're an enabler, I'm going to say that. And I'm not going to stutter when I say it. You got to call a spade a spade. I have nothing against Mickey Loomis other than the fact that he's a horrible general manager. He has put this team in a hole. He has got these Saints fans miserable from coast to coast because he is not good at his job. He got lucky by getting a head coach who was a tyrant and a 6-foot-tall, 209-pound quarterback with a chip on his shoulder with everybody saying that he can't play football no more. And it was a recipe for success. And he cannot replicate that. He cannot replicate that. And in my opinion, he never will. So I don't know what we're doing at this point. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if we're purposely looking this bad to try to get the top pick or, you know, if Mickey Loomis is just that awful. I like to think it's the latter. Like I said, I'm not even mad at what happened today. I just think that anybody that's sitting up here believing that this New Orleans Saints team have a chance to win any games going forward, you just an optimistic fan. And I get it, right? I mean, you want to see the team do well, but there's nothing today that I've seen from the football team makes me feel like they're going to be able to get themselves out of this hole. Like I said, I think that Tyler Shough played better than a lot of people may have thought that he would. But other than that, same old song and dance, man. And I'm not about to sit up here and stress myself out about a terrible football team with terrible management. And I don't see too much changing because Gail Benson doesn't know that much about football. And Mickey Loomis is horrible at his job, and he just refuses to get out of his own way and accept defeat. I trade Olave every year in Madden for a reason. We need wide receivers that can catch the damn ball. Need some playmakers, man. Do not support our team until Mickey is gone. We need young blood. We need, like, not only that, Darlene, not only do we need young blood, but we need young blood that is not selected solely by Mickey Loomis. Because once again, Mickey Loomis to me is electing guys where he can feel powerful. We've seen it with Dennis Allen, and now it seems like we're doing the same thing with Kellen Moore. A bunch of passive-aggressive guys where he can feel like he's powerful and in control. But the problem is he doesn't need to be in control. It seems to me like he's trying to prove a point. Like, you're not going to win, in my opinion, because, you know, you don't have Sean Payton or Drew Brees. And it's like he's trying to prove that he can actually win without them. Like, I don't think he can. And this is why Saints fans are going to continue to be miserable, because this isn't a battle of X's and O's, Willies and Joes. This is a battle between a delusional 60-plus-year-old man, like, not being able to come to grips with who he is and what he is as a general manager. And Saints fans are miserable because of it. And Gail Benson, to me, I feel like she's afraid. I think she's afraid because he's the only person up at the top that really understands football operations. And she is so committed to Mickey Loomis she can't even get out of her own way. To me, this is the worst 1-2 punch in sports right now. You got an owner that don't know what she's doing, and you got a general manager that doesn't know what he's doing but doesn't want to admit it. I started watching the game in the first quarter, just pitiful. We have the boycott. Gail doesn't know what she's doing. That's pretty obvious. At least Gail should do a majority or minority owner deal. I don't know if she had to do that. I mean, most owners that you see, these guys don't know that much about football. Like, they just own a team. But what they do is they put the right executives, the right general managers in place to be able to run those football operations. This lovey-dovey relationship that they have in the front office is the reason why the Saints are in this predicament, because of her love for Mickey Loomis. Like, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm watching the NFL draft, and they show the Saints war room after they select Tyler Shough. And, they select Tyler Shough. They get off the phone, everybody clapping. And then she just goes over to Mickey Loomis and kisses him on the cheek. Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, I'm not saying, like, there's nothing wrong with them having a relationship. But at the end of the day, that type of relationship to me clouds your judgment about what you need to do going forward. And that's the problem with the New Orleans Saints. Too buddy. Too let's just go ahead and figure it out. Oh, we had a down year. We're going to get it right. Like, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to get it right because you're not very good at your job. I mean, I know people came here to talk about football and talk about the game, but what is there to talk about? I mean, seriously, what is there to talk about? Like, what were the bright spots in this game? What can you sit up here and just say, man, you know what? That player did this right here. Like, I'm optimistic about what they can actually do in the future. I mean, this game was just on. It was just on. Like, it was just on, folks. Like, I'm not trying to lie to kick it. It was just on. Like I told you, man, I was cleaning up. Like, I was cleaning up my house. I was vacuuming the floor. I was, mopping, washing down the countertops. Like, that's what I was doing watching this game because there was nothing really interesting going on. There was a couple plays I can just say, okay, man, all right, But at the end of the day, like, what did they actually do? They only had the ball for 16 minutes. They had what? About 4 3-and-outs? I'm going to tell you, the Saints won the toss, elected to receive, and went 3-and-out. So you basically said, okay, man, we got to get ahead of the curve. We got our best 15 plays here. We're going to get the ball first. We're going to try to set the tone. 3-and-out. I mean, the game plan itself was terrible. You can tell, like, whatever they thought the Rams was going to do, they did not do. So that's on the coaches on both sides, defensively and offensively. Like, they got exposed, they got outcoached, and that is the issue that I'm having with this coaching staff. They're getting outcoached every single week. They're getting outcoached by the most mediocre coaches. They're getting outcoached by the creme de la creme of coaches. So there's no in between with this. So I'm just wondering, like, is this going to continue? Like, or, like I said, they realize they came to the conclusion, oh, man, we're going to be bad this season. And, behind closed doors, they had this conversation. They knew it was going to be a tough outing, but, hey, man, we need to put some behinds in seats. So let's put some gold jersey on. Let's paint the end zones gold. Let's put a white helmet on our head. Let's put Tyler Shough in midway through the season. Like, we got to keep some behinds in the seats. We got to keep some people interested. Like, I'm sorry, folks, but I can't lie to kick it to you. I mean, we can talk about stats and all that kind of stuff, but what's the point? I mean, this game was pretty much over before it started. I mean, if you don't believe me, I'll read you some of these team stats here. All right, so the Rams had 30 first downs to 10. 30 first downs to 10. On third down, it was 7 of 14. The Saints were 2 of 9. On fourth down, the Rams were 2 of 2. The Saints were 0 for 2. The Rams had a total of 77 plays to the Saints 40. The Rams total yards, 438 to the Saints 224. Total drives, Rams had 10, the Saints had 9. Yards per play, Saints had 5.7. The Saints had 5.6. Rams had 5.7. Passing, 267 for the Rams, 167 for the Saints. Matthew Stafford was 24 of 32, 267 yards, 4 touchdowns. They sacked Matthew Stafford twice. They sacked Tyler Shough once. Rushing, 171 yards to the Saints 57. Rushing attempts, Rams 43 to Saints 14. Penalties, Saints had 5, Rams had 3. Turnovers, Saints had 2, Rams had none. Time of possession, 43 minutes, 53 seconds for the Rams, 16 minutes, 7 seconds for the Saints. What is there to talk about, folks? Seriously, what is there to talk about? Like, I don't know. Like, how can you break this down? You can't. I mean, like, everything that went wrong did go wrong. Game was just on. Ed, thank you very much for the 199. Says teams always been this bad since Jim Fink era. Yeah. These are the Saints that your grandmama and great grandmama used to seeing. Not some of y'all. Let's see. My girl looked dead at me and said, "Why do we subject ourselves to watch this? This is horrible." She doesn't even watch ball, but knows what bad ball is. Look, my wife don't watch football either. I mean, she done got to a point she don't even ask me who won. Like, she already know. Right? But at the end of the day, my love for this team is just not just conditional. Like, I mean, if I was sitting up here in 2018 when the Saints were at the apex, winning football games, and offense was at the epitome of efficient, and the defense was looking lights out, I could sit up here and rant and rave and brag and boast. Like, in losses, I can do the same thing. I can talk about the team. And that's just the way that it goes, man. Like, you gotta love them when they up. You gotta love them when they down. Like, it's a tough, hard situation to be in, watching your favorite team just go out there and just get absolutely mud walked and boots to behind every single week, and realize, like, there's no hope on the horizon. Like, there's no hope on the horizon. I do not believe in Gail Benson. With all due respect, I think she's a wonderful lady. I think that what she's doing for the state of Louisiana is remarkable. Like, she seems like a very sweet woman. But at the end of the day, we talking about from a business perspective, she's not very good as an owner. And Mickey Loomis, I don't know him outside of him just being a general manager, executive vice president of the Saints. Pretty sure he's a nice guy as well. But at the end of the day, he's terrible as a general manager, and I think he needs to get out of the way. And I think until the New Orleans Saints ownership that involves Dennis Lauscher and Gail Benson have a conversation outside of Mickey, or bring Mickey into a room and say, "Mickey, we need to go in a different direction. We see that you tried. We appreciate your efforts, but we're going to try to go in a different direction. And we are going to be a part of this process. We're going to bring in individuals from the outside that are really good at helping search for a general manager, what a team needs." Until you do something like that, then this team will continue to fail. Because you got a bunch of people that's out here looking to see who can actually do something. It's almost like somebody standing around a ditch or something. Like, and you need to go ahead and shovel, and create a hole in this ditch. And everybody just standing around, like, waiting for somebody to pick the shovel up. You know it needs to be done, but nobody wants to pick the shovel up. Like, it's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, there are some bright spots on this team, and I'm looking forward to seeing. Like, I think that they got some young players out here that can make some plays, but I don't trust this ownership to get this thing together. Not the way that they structure right now. Saints are bad, but not bad like this. I'm starting to question whether Kellen Moore is the guy. That's what I'm starting to contemplate myself. Football is way more than just X's and O's when you're trying to be a head coach. Those guys in the locker room have to look at you and look in your eyes and believe that you have the answers. They got to believe that you can inspire a football team and galvanize them in adverse situations. I get nothing like that from Kellen Moore. And I understand, like, you don't have to be a rah-rah guy. You don't have to be up here on the sidelines chewing out the referees every time you get a chance. But I just look at this guy and I don't see any type of hope for the future. I just don't. And the way that this team continues to get out-coached, out-schemed, out-manned, and even outwitted in some cases. Like it's a reflection of the head coach. See, I can give you a pass when it comes to the talent, but in certain situations, when I'm seeing you tuck your tail between your legs, or you waiting way too long to make a decision, or making sorry ass decisions like that challenge, like I don't know what you were thinking. I don't know, like it's way too many people that probably, man, just throw the flag. Like you can easily see that Matthew Stafford still had possession. You can easily see it. But like I said, when you got so many people, man, should we do it? Should we do it? Like, that's on you. And that's the type of stuff that concerns me about Kellen Moore. Not his ability to be able to, like, call an offense. I just don't think the Saints have the talent for him to, like, effectively call the offense and be able to generate the results he seeks. But when it comes down to it, when it comes to, like, him leading men, that's why I question him. And that's the biggest trait that you need to have as a head coach. I don't look in that guy's eyes and feel like he has the answers. I look at a guy that's just going through the motions and trying to figure it out on the fly. And like I said, the Saints look desperate as I don't know what. Like, they look desperate out there. Like, it's almost like, like, man, let's just go ahead and just throw this against the wall, hope that it stick. Like, we ain't run this play in a while. In some cases, I mean, like I said, the offense is just as vanilla as I don't know what. Everybody knew on that 4th and 1, Taysom Hill was going to run up the middle. Everybody. So I'm questioning this guy's leadership. I don't question his football acumen. I don't question him as a coordinator. I don't question him as a play caller. But what I do question him as is a leader of men. If we end up firing Kellen Moore after 1 year, who can we realistically go get to replace him? That's not happening. And I don't even know why we riling ourselves up for this, man. Like, we know this football team. We know it. We know these higher ups. They don't work like that. Kellen Moore is not getting fired. Kellen Moore is not getting fired. Plain and simple. He's not. Because I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, they probably already told Kellen, look, we know that this year is going to be a wash. We know that we've had some contract issues, some salary cap issues. We're going to just go ahead and take this year as a developmental year, try to get back to the black and be more competitive in 2026. So they're not judging Kellen Moore based on this year, no matter how awful they look. So let's go ahead and get that out of our minds right now. Like, trying to set yourself up, getting your mouth all set for a Kellen Moore firing, like, you just wasting your time. It's not happening. The best thing that you can do is hope that the New Orleans Saints do what needs to be done, which is, I don't know, make a statement with Mickey Loomis, like, however you want to dress it up. I don't care. Like, you can make this formidable, like, like press conference, and you can write a letter. Whatever you need to do to get this dude to step down, that is what you need to do. And bring in somebody that does not have ties to the organization, that you can judge accordingly by wins and losses, mistakes and faux pas, and not looking at him like, oh, I just love him. He's such a great guy. Every time I see him, he shakes my hand and gives me really good eye contacts. He squeezes me so tight. He gives me one of those family hugs. Who cares? Bring somebody in here that demands excellence, that you can judge accordingly, that ain't part of this good old boy, good old girl network that you'd have developed for yourself. As Jeff Duncan and Matt Moscona kindly say, a bunch of made men who are made in the shade, and it just doesn't really matter what the state of the Saints look like. They still going to have a job at the end of the day. We just having a conversation today, folks, because what happened today was inevitable. It was inevitable. So until the New Orleans Saints come to grips that they have losers up top with loser mentalities, bringing in loser philosophies, people with loser mind frames, surrounded by guys that aren't very good. You got a couple good players. I'll give you that. But for the most part, let's just keep it a buck. If but the majority of these guys, if they weren't playing for the Saints, are they starting on somebody's team? Seriously. Who is starting on somebody's team? Let's go ahead and just take a look. Is Tyler Shough starting at quarterback on somebody's team? Is Alvin will be starting on somebody's team? Will Rashid Shaheed be a number 2 wide receiver on somebody else's team? Will Chris Olave be a number 1 on somebody else's team? Would Jawan Johnson be a number 1 tight end on somebody else's team? Would Trevor Penning be a starting guard on somebody else's team? Would Cesar Ruiz be a starting right guard on somebody else's team? Would Jonah Williams be out there? Would Nate Shepard be out there? Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, who is out here? Like, man, if he went to somebody else's team, I know he'll be starting. What you have is a bunch of role players. You got a bunch of Kyle Korvers, Mike Millers on your football team. A bunch of role guys that have one good thing that they do, and yet we're trying to make them multifaceted, and they're not. And you're doing this because you have a general manager who messed up the checkbook. He screwed up the money. So right now, you trying to make syrup sandwiches. That is what you're doing because your icebox is empty. So you trying to make a meal out of something. You trying to make syrup sandwiches. You trying to make rice with butter because that's all you got. Right? I mean, you trying to make a stew right now. That's what the New Orleans Saints are doing. Why? Because your refrigerator is empty. You open the refrigerator, you see a light bulb and I don't know, some baking soda in the back of it. And I don't know, some margarine butter around here. That's what you have. You trying to make a meal out of that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Loomis should be fired before we know it. Ain't happening, but Moore getting fired before Loomis would be dumb. Kellen Moore isn't going anywhere. There's no way. Kellen Moore would not have accepted this job if he knew that based on the way that this team is structured, the salary cap issues that they face, there's no way in this world he would have agreed to accept this job. So, like I said, this first year is just a wash. Kellen Moore is coming back as the head coach. So, like, trying to get yourself all riled up and talk about Kellen Moore ain't the answer, this, that, and the third, it's irrelevant. He will be back. He will be back. Loomis kept kicking a can down the road. A bunch of specialists. Pretty much, Kane Arthur. Pretty much a bunch of specialists. But a bunch of guys that are good at one particular thing. And they trying to make them more than what they actually are. And that's just not it. Mickey might give Kellen a raise after this season. A bunch of Mario Chalmers. I mean, any role player that you can think of. You know, Hito Turkoglu. You know, like, that's where you at right now. Even though I thought Hito Turkoglu was pretty good, especially when he went to the Magic. He kind of a star player. But y'all get what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm talking about Sacramento Kings, Hito Turkoglu. You know, that's what you got right now. I'll take a syrup sandwich. But look, yeah, Desi, you will take a syrup sandwich, I'm sure, but that's not going to be your first choice, right? I mean, syrup sandwiches just kind of happen. Like, you don't just wake up in the morning and be like, man, let me get a syrup sandwich. It's like, dang, I ain't go to the store, man. I got some syrup and I got some bread up in here. Let me just eat this. It's not your go-to breakfast, right? It just kind of happens. It's just, you know, rice with butter actually isn't bad. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, you're trying to make a meal out of it. Trying to make a meal. You know, like, man, rice and butter always seems to be the last thing that always stands when, you know, towards the end of the month. I'm just telling on myself, growing up as a kid, man, you got 2 brothers, 1 sister, 4 of y'all in the house plus my mom. And I'm like, you know, you trying to make it to the end of the month. So what was the last thing standing? Rice and butter. Rice and butter. And you trying to make this thing happen. You just trying to get yourself to the beginning of the month where you can get that bread. That's what you're doing right now. You're trying to wait to the beginning of the month so you can get them stamps. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I would just like many millions of Americans, you know, that were part of the welfare system. And when you were in a big home, you already knew you was waiting towards the beginning of the month so them food stamps can hit so you can get some food in your crib. And that's what the New Orleans Saints are doing right now. They're eating on rice and butter until them stamps come in. Until they get that check at the beginning of the month. What kind of stew they making, TJ? I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to make. Not a very good one. Not a very good one. Desi, I don't like how he dipped, but if homie saw the writing on the wall, I would have dipped too. Yeah, Sean Payton, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it was Sean Payton. And what he's doing with Denver pretty much confirms what everybody already knew, that it is indeed Sean Payton, the ones that was pulling the strings and making things happen. Saints fans remind me of LSU fans. So as time gets tough, want to fire everyone. Have patience. This roster just ain't good. Yeah, I ain't talking about firing nobody. They want instant gratification. People talking about Tyler Shough sucks and he ain't do this and that and the third. Like, what do you expect? Like, I really feel like Saints fans like watch football games like they watch Disney movies, where you have this guy that just comes in out of nowhere and he just lights it up and just change your misfortunes. Like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, you got people like I made a tweet about Tyler Shough. I said I think Tyler Shough is playing pretty well today. And then in the process, like, he threw an interception and people like, you were saying? I'm saying the same thing. Saying the same doggone thing. Because that's man, some of these Saints fans evaluate the quarterback position like driving a car 10-2, right? I'm driving a car 10-2. I'm driving a car. Okay, before I get home, I crash into a fire hydrant. Oh, man, that was a terrible driving. Like, that was terrible driving, right? That's how they do it. If you plan like you complete, score a touchdown. Okay, complete, incomplete. Okay, okay, they good. But then when somebody throw an interception, get them up out of here. Like, bruh, you cannot evaluate the quarterback position like you just driving a car 10-2 and you just crash into a fire hydrant. Like that, in that case, it really doesn't matter. But when you look at a young, inexperienced quarterback who is playing in his first start against a team that has the second best pass rush in the NFL, and you expect this guy to go out here to look like who? Who you want him to look like? Who I mean, here's a better question. Who is he going to look like? We've already established that the New Orleans Saints don't have the talent to be able to rise above the occasion. So what is he supposed to do? I come to the conclusion that anybody that's criticizing Tyler Shough after this performance, you already went into this game critical of this guy, hate watching, and hoping that he failed. Rather, just the fact that maybe you didn't feel like Spencer Rattler should have got benched. Rather, it's the fact that you maybe thought that the Saints should have went after Shadur Sanders. Rather, it's the fact that you just want the New Orleans Saints to get the number 1 overall pick and get another quarterback. But it cannot just be based on what I've seen from this guy. I don't know how you evaluate a position. And throwing an interception when the game was about as lost as a baby bird in tall grass is not justification to tell me that a guy just played awful. You went into that game with that logic. So I'm not going to sit up here and criticize Shuck because of that. And neither should you. And if you're doing that, then I'm saying it to your face. Well, I'm not saying it to your face. I'm saying it on camera. And if you were in my face, I would say it to you. You don't know how to evaluate the quarterback position. And some of y'all don't know how to evaluate football, and you're telling on yourself. Plain and simple. Now, you can't sit up here and evaluate this guy based on that performance. The Saints had the ball for a total of 16 minutes. What are you supposed to see in 16 minutes? Defense couldn't get off the field at all. Couldn't get off the field at all. And we sitting up here, oh, man, this dude ain't it. You already went into the game with that conclusion. Yeah, neither of the quarterbacks are the problem. And that's what I've been trying to tell folks for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, it doesn't matter if Tyler Shough in a game, doesn't matter if Spencer Rattler in a game. If you don't have the horses in the barn to be able to find success offensively, then it's going to be the same old song and dance. And that's what some of you don't want to realistically look at. It's not as simple as putting another quarterback in. It's not. The Saints got way more issues than just the quarterback position. I understand. Nobody wants to be in this situation. Nobody wants to sit around here watching their favorite team fumble all over itself, look embarrassing, not be able to have a leg to stand on, or walking into work fast so none of your other, friends who probably root for teams that's winning look at you. I get it. But at the end of the day, we got to be realistic about this, man. This is not a good football team. And as much as you may want this team to be good, as much as you believe that, oh, if you change this, then this would happen, it's not happening, folks. It's not happening. So just come to grips with it. It's not as simple as just putting another quarterback in. It's not just as simple as putting another running back in. It's not as simple as putting another wide receiver up in here. Like, oh, we can add Devon Bailey. Okay, add him. Still going to be the same old song and dance. He's not going to turn into Megatron. So what are we doing? We got to be realistic about the situation of this team, man. Nobody wants to be in this. But at the same time, this is where they are. They're not a good football team. The quicker you come to grips with that and quicker you understand that it's not an easy fix, the more content you will be with the way this team look in 2025. Why did we have it for only 16 minutes, dummy? Had it for 16 minutes because their defense could not get off the field. I mean, they could not get the Rams off the field at all. Rattler made it look a lot harder than Shuck did. I can't even come to that conclusion. I mean, I can't. Like, I can't even say that. Like, they had the ball for 16 minutes. Like, I don't know what he made some throws. He made some really good throws. I will say that. Like, he made some NFL caliber throws in the game. But I'm not I didn't go into the game evaluating Tyler Shough based on a Spencer Rattler performance because they're two different quarterbacks. Like, if we're going to evaluate a guy, let's evaluate him. Let's fully evaluate him. No, like, I'm not looking at Tyler Shough like, man, Spencer Rattler did this. I'm not. What can this guy do to help this team in the future? When Spencer Rattler was out there, what can Spencer Rattler do to make this team better in the future? That's all I care about. This whole comparison between these two quarterbacks, I can care less. Because at the end of the day, as it stands right now, neither one of these guys will be a starting quarterback on anybody's team right now. Plain and simple. They will go to in any other situation, the New Orleans Saints would have got a veteran quarterback, and these two guys would have been quarterbacks in waiting. And let's see where they at in 2026. And let's see, okay, if we sign a veteran quarterback to a one-year deal, let's just say if these two quarterbacks take a step forward, let's see if they can compete in 2026. But right now, no. Because they both have some growing that they need to do at the quarterback position. So I'm not evaluating based on what? Based on who? Man, I'm over this house divided crap that people own. Look, I like Spencer Rattler. I like Tyler Shough. I like both quarterbacks, and I hope that they both find success. But this house divided crap needs to stop. The Saints are 1-8. That's the reality. Plain and simple. I'm not looking no further than that. When the Saints decided that Tyler Shough was their quarterback, I'm looking at the qualities that Tyler Shough possessed that can help him possibly be a starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? Is he getting better? Is he making the throws? Does he look like an NFL caliber quarterback? Plain and simple. And in 16 minutes, I came to the conclusion that some of the throws that he made were NFL caliber. Talking about what Spencer Rattler would have did in this situation and that situation, guess what? It's still equated to a loss. Just like whatever Tyler Shough did in this situation, that situation, it equated in a loss. So at the end of the day, it really don't matter. The Saints still lost the football game. Is there some good qualities in those losses? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not sitting up here like comparing these two quarterbacks. Like this house divided crap just got to stop, man. TJ, if you had a pick at first overall next year, who would you take? In general, I feel like it's not a strong draft for quarterbacks. I would draft a quarterback. I would draft a quarterback based on you still don't have your answer. And the New Orleans Saints, to me, they need a spark at the quarterback position. Like not somebody that's just going to be efficient. Like you need somebody that's going to go out there that's going to instill like hope in a fan base. Like, okay, man, like what is he doing? Like, okay, man, he's scrambling, he's making somebody miss. Like he out here sliding for extra yards. Like he's showing a Warriors mentality. Like the Giants are trash right now. But it's pretty obvious that Jackson Dart has a bright future as the starting quarterback. Like you can see it. Like you can see the moxie. You can see the grit. You can see the energy that he plays with. They just don't have the talent right now. You got Malik Neighbors out for the season. You got Cam Scatterbull out for the season. So they don't have pieces around him. But you still see that there's some bright spots in this guy. He's making throws to some guys. He's making plays on his own. Like you can see it. There's a reason, if you're a Giants fan, to be optimistic about the future if you put pieces around him. But when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, you can't squint. That's the issue. I say this all the time. People ask me, what makes a franchise quarterback elite quarterback? This is what makes it to me. If I look at you one time and they say, is he elite? If I don't have to think twice, you're elite. If I have to think about what you did in a couple games ago, like, I don't look at you as elite. Like, there's a couple quarterbacks like in the league right now, no brainers, elite. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Like, you don't think twice about them. They're elite. But see, I got question marks with the quarterback room. So with that, you got to pick a quarterback. You got to pick a quarterback. And like I said, what Tyler Shough did today didn't really show me anything. But at the same time, it didn't show me anything. He played better. He made some throws, but it's not to a point where I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm willing to take a look at it next week and see how it can look against Carolina, against a divisional foe, but not to a point where you just sitting up here like, okay, man, quarterback situation is solved. No. Not at all. Quarterback is where you need to go. TJ, I hate to reference the Bucks, but the Saints need a quarterback with Baker Mayfield mentality, just a gamer and never says die attitude. That's what I'm saying. You need a quarterback like Dante Moore. You need a quarterback like Lenore Sellers. Like, you need somebody that's going to go out there and that's going to electrify the fan base, that's going to be able to make their own plays, make things happen, and not just like time on task. Like, that's what you're going to need. You need somebody like that that's going to be out there wheeling and dealing and instilling hope inside the fan base and going out there making things happen. Like right now, the New Orleans Saints have time on task quarterbacks. Like, okay, when he comes out his break, throw him the football. Okay, this 10 and in, go ahead and throw him. Like that. That's what they own right now. It's two guys that's basically trying to hit all the right notes so they can go out here and be on American Idol next week. That's what it is. Like, I gotta sing this song perfectly. I can't I can't sing it with a raspy throat. I can't not hit the high notes. That is how these quarterbacks are playing. They're playing uptight and they playing for next week. Like I don't see gunslinger. I don't see. I just see a bunch. I see two guys that are just trying to keep a job. I don't want that. Like I look, stay true to who you are. People make fun of like Jameis Winston all the time. They talk about Jameis Winston throwing interceptions, whatever, yada yada yada. But one thing you can say about Jameis Winston, he gonna stay true to himself. He gonna sling that thing down the field. He gonna trust his wide receiver, no matter if they're as mediocre as a C plus. He gonna go out there and wheel and deal and play his game. And it may end up being a 5 touchdown performance. It might be a 3 interception performance, but he stays true to himself. And right now, you just have you have American Idol contestants trying to sing all the right notes so I can maintain my stay in Hollywood and try to get there to the very end. That is what you have with the New Orleans Saints. No dog, no dog mentality right now. Dogs have been muzzled. Go out there and just do your best. Like, nobody out there making no play. Nobody out there telling somebody to break off their route. Nobody like signaling them to go downfield. None of that. None of that. Like nobody putting their head down, lowering the shoulder. Like none of that. None of that. Time on task. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw. Like 1, 2, 3, check down. Like that's what you on right now. The Saints need a spark at the quarterback position. Like you need somebody that's like you need somebody that's gonna go out there and say, okay, I'm gonna play within the rules, but if it break down, I'm gonna make some things happen. The New Orleans Saints don't have that. They don't have that. So there you have it. Now you're right. King Baker is doing the thing. What system is Kellen Moore running on offense? I don't think that he knows. I told you, it's like man, I got some darts up here, man. Like that's basically what they doing. Like that, man. Okay, run play. All right, play act. Like that's what they own, man. That's what they own, folks. Now, like I said, I wish I can tell you something different, but what can I tell you, man? What can I tell you? None of the quarterback prospects are like that, brother. Go defense first. I want to create a attacking with a technical sound defense. I mean, you can do that if you want, man, and I get it. Like they got a lot of good defensive players out there, but man, you need a player. You need somebody that's gonna bring a spark. And having a really good lights out defense, it'll help your offense, but you need somebody that's gonna be able to generate and make some things happen, man. Like I said, like Tyler Shough is gonna be the starting quarterback going forward, so maybe he might show you something to a point where it's like, okay, now you have to go defense. But right now, man, you got to get an electrifying offensive player. That's what you need to get. See, the thing about the Saints is they picking pretty early. So if they got the number 1 overall pick, guess what? They're going to have the 33rd pick in the draft too. So you're going to get 2 top 40 players regardless. So it's not like, oh, man, we don't get like you can get some really good talented guys in the second round. Like difference makers, generational talent in the second round. So it's not like, oh, man, you got to like, man, the Saints need offensive. They need offensive player. They need somebody that's going to generate some excitement. That's what this fan base needs. That's what it's longing for. Somebody that's going to make a play. Somebody, when you look at them like, man, I know for a fact you're about to drive us down this field and they're going to score a touchdown. You have to keep drafting quarterbacks until you hit one. That's what teams do. Some of you are just not used to it because Drew Brees was your whole life. It's not a debacle. This is who Mickey Loomis is. Terrible team. offense has to move the ball on the defense, will get worn out. I mean, their defense wore itself out not being able to get off the field today. But, Desi, I agree with you. He must not be watching college football. Dante Moore is a dog. Man, Dante Moore is good. Fernando Mendoza is good. Ty Simpson is good. Lenora Sellers is good. Like, man, we can't just sit up here like, man, why? Like, I just think that a lot of people evaluate quarterbacks based on, man, how many touchdowns they got, how many interceptions they got. Well, he threw 2 interceptions today. Oh, he's not it. When I look at a quarterback, I'm not looking at, oh, he threw 2 interceptions today. I mean, a quarterback could throw 2 interceptions. The ball can pop up in the air, and it can, like, he can throw it in a receiver hand and pop up in the air, and it's a pick. He can try to throw it to the sidelines. It can be a miscommunication between him and a wide receiver, and it can be a pick. So looking at a touchdown to interception ratio to determine and say, oh, this guy is not, he ain't an NFL caliber quarterback. That's what people do. Like, I look at a lot of these comments. A lot of you are basing your the quarterback performance based on if he throws an interception or not. And that's just like, if that's the case, like, let's look at Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes wasn't just like that at Texas Tech. Like, he kind of came on later on. Like, you got man, you can't be sitting up here like, look, oh man, he threw an interception. That bothers me. Like, what are you watching? Like when people say, oh man, he threw an interception, I really feel like you just sitting up there watching and waiting for him to throw one so you can feel justified in your thoughts of him. That doesn't fully determine if that's going to be you're going to be a good quarterback or not. TJ, what do you think about the receiver Concepcion out of A&M? I ain't seen him enough, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't sit down and evaluate a lot of college players until like that time comes around the Senior Bowl. Then I go and I watch film on them. I don't really know that much about them like that. I sit down and I evaluate talent because I don't want to just be like prisoner of moment. I don't want to just be sitting up there just watching. Like I go back because I got a system, King Arthur. I look at like some of their best performance, and then I look at their losses. Like they may have went for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Okay, that's cool. But there's also a game where they probably had about 4 catches for 60 some odd yards, no touchdown. What happened? Like I watch it like that. Like that, and that's how I determine like who can do what. I mean, I don't sit up here like, look at a lot of like college players like that until like the end of the season. So there's a lot of players like that are in college right now that are pretty good that I haven't really just sit there and evaluate it because that's what I do at the end of the season. Yeah, TJ, we lost, but the Falcons losing makes it better. Yeah, man. I mean, and they lost in a very Falcon way. I mean, Drake London had a monster game. He had 3 touchdowns. They couldn't do nothing with him. And then Parker Romo just shanks a field goal and they lose by 1 point. I mean, that's the most Falcon way to lose that you can find right there. We need that dog that wear number 4, the playmaker 2.0. Man, the Saints need so many different things, but they just need a spark, man. You can't access anything on this team. This team is built terribly. Coaching is soft and the talent is not there. This is worse than the Dicker years. I mean, they 1-8. Worst starting in franchise history. We'll take a few more and then I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, folks. We need that Mike T, Colston, and Devin Henderson type of wide receiver next year. I definitely agree with you on that. You need a dog, man. You need somebody that's kind of like maybe got a screw loose but can go out there and make some plays. Historically, the Saints' identity leans on defense, dome patrol. So for you to think offense first tells me you don't know this very well. I don't know if you're talking about me or somebody else, but that's the problem. That's the problem right there. Like, this is the reason why you're in the position that you're in right now, because you're always talking about what the Saints used to be, what they used to do. Like, this is a new NFL, bruh. Like back in the day, they used to have quarterbacks stand in the pocket all day, never ran outside the pocket. Now you got mobile quarterbacks. Now you don't see statuesque quarterbacks no more, for the most part. Even if they are pocket passers, they have the ability to run. Like we talk about what they used to do. Like that's the problem. We trying to dig into the crates, just like Mickey Loomis, trying to dig into the crates and trying to replicate what we used to be. So don't tell me about, oh, well, the Saints were structured like, I don't care how the Saints were structured. I don't care. It's a new NFL, dude. It's about revenue. It's about putting behinds in seats, and it's all about generating excitement offensively. Why do you think that the NFL caters so many different rules towards the offense? Because they realize that people want to see offense. There was a game today between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chicago Bears. They set offense back about 20 years. But you know what? They said that was the most exciting game of the weekend. Why? Because they put up points. I score, you score. People want to see excitement. People want to feel like when they watching a football game, they want to see the ball move down the field. That's the reason why they want you to kick the ball into the zone now, or they're going to put you at the 40. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't care what the Saints used to be. That's the problem. That's the problem with some of you Saints fans. Y'all want the team to be strong. Man, when they had success, who cares? I don't care. Like, I don't care how this team is structured as far as the success, as long as they have it. But reality, you need people that are offensively driven to generate some excitement from their fan base. Plain and simple. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? Man, please, I guarantee you. I don't know if you were talking about me or not. Put my knowledge up and my skill set and my abilities to be able to dissect football over yours. And I guarantee you're going to feel like you came up short. Don't get it misconstrued, dude. I've been doing this since 2018, but I've been a Saints fan since I was 4. And don't let this nice looking face fool you. I'm almost 40. So I watch just as much football, Saints football, as you. I remember when Saints weren't even on TV. So I know about how the team was structured, but that's the problem with these Saints fans out here, man. That's the problem with these Saints fans out here. They want to live in the past. Man, what we used to do back in the 80s, bro. Back in the 80s, they can take somebody's head off, right? You going across the middle. Can they do that today? No. So shut up. Wouldn't be surprised if we ended up trading Olave and Shaheed. It's a coincidence that the Saints and Pelicans are almost identical organizations. TJ said, stay in your lane. Man, please. I'm tired of these folks. Man, what they used to be. Like, that's the problem. How you, like, that, and that's hypocrisy of the highest order. How you going to sit up here and criticize Mickey Loomis for digging in the crates? Man, it was Sean Payton and Drew Brees. It wasn't him. And then don't turn around and talk about what the Saints used to be. That's the problem. And that's the problem with some of y'all out here. Y'all wanted the Saints to do what they used to do. Same old tradition. Y'all king on tradition. Like, I don't care. I don't care what Sean Payton and Drew Brees and Sean Payton legacy was their legacy. That's what it was. I'm not looking for the next Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I'm looking for a coach and quarterback that can bring some stability, some winning, and some positive energy to this organization. I ain't trying to reinvent Ricky Jackson, Von Johnson, Pat Swilling, and Sam Hill. Like that was a great moment in time. But guess what? That's dead. And we need to stop sitting up here trying to replicate and reinvent the wheel. Some of y'all still got that same, guy standing outside the liquor store type mentality. Man, what to do with that? We at today. Still looking for him. Like, man, I'm looking for change. How you going to be able to modernize this offense? How you going to be able to get some dogs on defense? But people is tired of watching paint dry, watching this football team. That's the problem. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, dude. And look, I'm saying, look, I'm not even that type of person, but I guarantee you, put your knowledge up against the Saints versus mine. I don't care how long you've been watching it. You might be able to talk about some, you know what I'm saying, some Jim Fink type stuff, but guess what? Let's talk about these X's and O's, Willis and some Joes. Let's talk about overall football, not just what the Saints and what other teams are doing around the National Football League from our years past to the present. And I guarantee you're going to be sitting up here looking about as sad in the face as you possibly can, talking about the Dome Patrol. Dome Patrol, like, man, Dome Patrol, boy, about almost 30-some odd years, and you still up here talking about what the Dome Patrol did. I want to see a touchdown for our team, what the Dome Patrol did. Like, come on, man. The Dome Patrol had a good defense and didn't win nothing. What did they win? Tell me that. Because the last time I checked, the New Orleans Saints didn't win a playoff game to 2000. So all those good defenses that they had, they couldn't move the football. So how did that work out? Because I can remember, the Dome Patrol was great, but it didn't help them against the Eagles when Reggie White came to town and he was going upside Bobby Abell's head. Did it? Did it help? But they won a lot of games though, right? Come on, man. What are we doing? This bad days was when Tom was around. He was guilty too of having mediocre, but Gail just let mediocre fly all over. She should have just fired Willie the minute they hired him. Man, look here. Tom Benson was cheap. It wasn't until the end of his life, like towards the twilight of his life, where he started to open up that checkbook. Because I think we all can remember. Y'all remember when the Saints had Leroy Glover, Joe Johnson, Norman Hand, Salmon Knight. Y'all remember when they had that defense? And he didn't want to pay Joe Johnson, Leroy Glover when they had double-digit sacks. He didn't want to pay Salmon Knight, so Salmon Knight went to the Kansas City Chiefs. He was cheap. God rest his soul, but it's true. He was cheap. And it wasn't until like the twilight of his career where I feel like he was more like he realized, and came to grips with his immortality or lack of immortality. The fact is, that's when he decided to be the humanitarian. That's when he decided to like give money to Canton. That's the reason why his name is on the field in Canton right now. But for the most part, man, Tom Benson was cheap. Cheap. Y'all know I ain't lying. Now OG Saints fans out there, now that's something that we know that is true. Exactly, TJ. Dome Patrol didn't do nothing, but it was a nice, PR. Like, no, I ain't gonna say they didn't do anything. They had the best linebacker core. A lot of people say in NFL history. But what I'm saying is, how did that help you in the playoffs? How did that help you then? Like, you had a great defense, but you couldn't move the football. So how's that going to help you? You got to be, look, you can have a good defense, but if you ain't got no good offense, well, bro, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks last week. 5. And the Browns still lost because they couldn't move the football. So what, like, getting a monster defensive player who can give you these many sacks, but you can't move the football. You ain't got no skill players, no playmakers on the other side of the football. But you sacking folk. Okay. Man, get some talent on the offensive side of football. And that's where your priority needs to be at the beginning. And I'm pretty much done with it. I read an article that said, hey, the fans pushing for the league to step in for the Pels. They need something, man. Them guys want out because they weren't the Dome Patrol, G. They were mid. Notice they aren't name worthy right now. Show some respect on the Dome Patrol. You tripping out. Like, look, the Dome Patrol, they definitely deserve it. Like, if you go to, like, the NFL top 10 greatest linebacker groups of all time, they number 1. And they still stand as number 1. But at the same time, you need offense, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you need offense. That didn't help you. That didn't help you in the playoffs. And that's the reason why Jim Mora never won a playoff game. Great defensive-minded coach, but defense only can get you so far. It can probably win you some football games. It can keep you in the game, but eventually you're going to have a quarterback, running back, somebody to make a play to win the game. And if you don't have that, then guess what? I don't care what type of defense you got. You can have the 85 Bears, you can have the 2000 Ravens, you can have the Legion of Boom. It don't matter who you got. If you can't move the football, guess what? You're going to be right there in the same state that you've been in. And that's what I don't want the Saints to be. Go offense. The league is going to step in and take the pills. That's what's going to happen, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if they're going to take the pills or somebody probably going to get them some new ownership or something. That boy Torrey Horton looking good for Seattle. I had him on my mock last year. Yeah, man. I mentioned that on a tweet. Somebody like he got drafted by Seattle. I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah, Torrey Horton is good. He was good at Colorado State. But, man, my final thoughts are simple. It is what it is at this point. Saints 1-8. Don't see anything changing. Next game, they play against the Carolina Panthers, and then they have their bye week. And, you know, maybe the New Orleans Saints can have a better showing against Carolina, who upset the Green Bay Packers today, by the way. But, I mean, they kind of up and down, so they'll look like, you know, a formidable team one week, and then they'll take a step back the next. So they trying to figure it out too. Looking at this defense, Justin Reed led the team with 13 tackles. DeBario Davis also had 13 tackles. Alontae Taylor with 8. Ernest Sinker with 8. Danny Stutzman with 8. Kool-Aid McKinstry with 7. Devon Godshaw with 6. Chris Rump with 5. Jonah Williams with 3 also had a sack. Chase Young had 2. He also had a sack. Carl Granderson had 2 tackles. Isaac Adam with 2. Nate Shepard, Pete Warner, Jonathan Bullard, Terrell Burgess, they all had 2. And then you have Rashid Shaheed, Cameron Jordan, Zach Wood, Jordan Howden all had 1 tackle. So that's your defense. Long story short, on to Cincinnati, ladies and gentlemen. On to Cincinnati. This is not a good football team. I don't expect too many wins in the future. Saints are what they are. I like what I saw out of Tyler Shough. I thought he made some really good throws. They just don't have no talent. They just don't have – I don't want to say they don't have no talent. They just don't have enough talent to be able to rise above this situation. So, got a few games left, man, before we're out of our misery, and then we can move on to 2026, and, you know, we can kind of gear up and get to the Senior Bowl, get to the Combine, and get to some of the pro days to try to see if we can actually rectify what actually happened this year. But the cavalry ain't coming, ladies and gentlemen. Drew Brees ain't walking through that door, and neither is Sean Payton. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you are in 2025. The Saints at 1-8, their worst start in franchise history. I'm pretty sure I can confidently say that, but I don't think I ever seen a New Orleans Saints start 1-8, even in a Dicker era. So here we are. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. I ask that you hit the like button no matter what platform that you're watching this on. I ask that you hit the like button. Previous episodes available on YouTube. Also, you can check out the State of the NFL. You can also check out NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I'm also on Bleacher Report every single day. You can download the Bleacher Report app. You'll be able to check out some of the Saints content that I put out each and every day. And you can also follow me on X at TJAY Jones 8. Man, just enjoy the rest of your night. Don't after we get out of here, man, don't even think twice about this team. Man, go like hug your kids, go hang out with your wife. You know what I'm saying? Go watch the game. Go watch some teams that are actually about to do something in the playoffs and try to make a run at this thing. Like, this is where the New Orleans Saints are. They just on right now. And they're going to be on until this season ends. And, you know, just take it for what it is, folks, and hope for better days. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?